We running?
We are running.
All right.
You got this all taken care of?
Got it all taken care of.
Wait, hold on. Oh, I hit record instead of play.
Are we recording now,
I think I'd
Jimmy?
have this figured out.
Are we good?
Episode 72.
Oh, my gosh.
It's all right. It was a good practice beginning.
Okay.
Gave you a little warm-up. It's been a little while.
Welcome to Lisa Beats Your Meat, episode 72. I've been doing an intro for about 15 minutes now, but Jimmy didn't have the button on. He pressed the wrong button.
So
Are we recording now?
We are recording, yes.
We're good? Okay.
Sorry.
Cheers.
This will just be more polished. Cheers. I'm going to go get another one. How's your whiskey?
It's okay. I'm not really into it this morning. Well, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and the only thing I have to drink is whiskey, and I'm not enjoying it. So I'm not even going to drink it.
Don't.
Yeah, I'm not.
Well, I'm enjoying my beer, though. But kids are napping.
We have a couple hours, not hours, we have like 30 minutes where it's quiet in our house. So we decided we would get back to podcasting because it's what we love to do, and we haven't done it for a while, right?
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been that long.
It's been like a month.
It's not like the olden days. No, it's been a couple weeks.
Okay. So we've been busy.
At the most.
We just got back from California. We flew into LA and then drove up the coast to San Francisco. And we got back I don't know, when was that? Wednesday? Yeah.
3 days ago, 4 days ago.
And California, as you could imagine, LA, super vegan friendly. But we went up to 2 little coastal towns. Well, one little town, Cambria, which is like just on the water or something.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was really pretty. And they weren't very vegan friendly, but I think that was pretty.
Yeah, there was like 3 restaurants. So,
yeah, it was a really small town. And then we went to Carmel, which is a pretty big town with like 100 stores, and they weren't very vegan friendly at all.
Yeah,
which is kind of upsetting.
And we looked online. I looked at all the apps and stuff, and there was no dedicated vegan restaurant, which is fine. But usually there's places that are, super healthy.
Yeah,
everyone had a health food store.
I don't think Carmel did.
I'm sure they did, like a market where you could go in and get.
I didn't see that. You know what I was thinking about is that. Remember when we were in LA with your cousin and he was like, you got to go to Malibu to this cute little market, and it was a grocery store? He was like, it's really cute. And we were like, this is literally a grocery store.
I feel like he might have he was sending us to a restaurant. I think maybe when he clicked on the map to send it to me. It was
like the wrong place.
Yeah, it was like a strip mall with a grocery store.
Yeah, so we ate at the grocery store.
It was good. I shouldn't say it was good. We bought bagels,
and cream cheese,
Lender's bagels off the shelf.
But it's fine. That's what Bob really likes. So
yeah, I was hit, but it was funny sitting there. It was pretty close to the water.
Malibu? Oh my God. California is so...
California?
What you think California is. Like, half the people there weren't wearing shoes. The other half were wearing, like shoes that cost my mortgage or something.
Keep in mind, California is like our biggest listening audience, too.
Oh, well, I'm not down on it. They know who they are.
Yeah. You guys are really...
California.
The stereotype of California.
Yeah, but
especially the coastal towns.
So much.
We weren't inland at all.
First of all, LA is sick money, It's just crazy money. It's money that I looked at the cars that were driving around in LA, and it was like, are we recording still?
Yeah, we are. Just
okay,
checking.
all right. The cars that are driving around in LA, everyone has a Range Rover or what we saw a car that had the emblems iced out, so you couldn't. I don't even know why. Why was that?
I think that was a we were
Maserati,
no
Bugatti,
the one that was
Lamborghini.
Covered.
Yeah, what was that?
No, we were in Hollywood. I bet that was one of your TV
reality
shows.
show.
I bet it was a reality show.
Call it my reality.
Well, you watch some reality shows that take place in that area. But I'm saying on TV shows, even on the flip or flop shows and stuff,
they X out the emblems.
Yeah, because they're not going to advertise
logos
for a car.
Oh, I get it.
So there was tinfoil over, and it was a sick car, but tinfoil over the front and back.
So
the
it was
badge
a reality
of the car.
show.
It had to have been.
That's cool.
But
also, hold on. I'm just saying, we were driving around, LA, Hollywood, and you see this just unbelievable amounts of money and stuff, and it kind of morphs your view. You're like, damn, like I should be getting some of this money. All these people got money. Like, why don't I have money? But I think it might be overrated. I don't know.
It's relative too. Not saying we're relatively in that scenario, but where we live, the amount of money we make provides us with a lifestyle that in many ways is more lavish than someone who lives in LA.
Yeah. Well, also, like, I don't know.
An average person in LA.
But, like, just let's think about it. Like, if we had buku money, like, what's really different?
Yeah. I mean,
you know?
Once
like,
you get to a certain point where you're comfortable.
Like, I mean, I have kids. Rich people have kids. Rich people get poop on their hands from their kids. Rich people have to.
Nannies do.
But you know what? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if like if I had like bazillions of dollars of money, would I want nannies raising my kids?
You like to pretend that we do on this podcast.
Oh, right, I know. But no, I mean, I think that like a lot of people out there who have money or who don't have money, like there's a certain, they don't want other people taking care of their kids for them.
Yeah.
You know, like no, I would want to take care of my kids myself.
My Land Rover would be 2 years old instead of 20 years old. Right. Vacations would be a little bit more extravagant.
But in general,
that's about it.
Everyone is sitting on their damn couch at 8 p.m. watching Netflix.
Watching Stranger Things.
Literally like from zero to hero, that's what everyone's doing.
Yeah. So, well, there's a lot of cool cars in LA.
There were.
But the one thing I found very interesting is the opposite of New York, where I'm from. Everyone was really nice, I felt like.
Everyone was really
Nobody
nice.
had an attitude. Everyone was cool. Probably because it's so freaking nice and comfortable there.
That's the thing. Is that
everyone
like,
was just had a smile on their face.
Yeah. For my own ego and stuff, I'm not necessarily envious of the lifestyle in California because I think there's a lot more to it. But the weather, that coastal weather, oh my God. It was 70s and no humidity and gorgeous. But I don't even mind the heat, really. It was just pleasant.
Yeah, I think we were in Venice mostly, so we weren't in downtown LA, but everyone in that area seems to live the same kind of, I don't know, it doesn't seem like fancy people. It's just, but like every restaurant you can go to is like it's open. The house we were staying at, the doors could be open 24 hours a day. Like there's no bugs. It wasn't hot. It wasn't cold. It was just
a pleasant.
It's like you're kind of indoor, outdoor at all times. I don't know. I really like that. Like that's if there was any place I could live in the United States so far that I've visited.
Be California? I wouldn't mind the
Venice area would be it for sure.
Okay.
So we'll work on that. We can go to LA and we'll make it in podcasting.
Oh my gosh, is that okay? Let's do that.
It's
anyways,
like Theo Vaughn, we could use his.
Oh my God,
his place when he's not using it.
I literally think about Theo Vaughn like a couple times a day because he's just so funny. You know. Anyways, moving on. California was fun, kind of vegan friendly, kind of not vegan friendly. We saw some zebras on the side of the road. If anybody is planning on going to California, we were driving up the coast. We had just left.
Just north of Malibu.
Yeah, Malibu. And
on the Pacific Coast Highway.
Looked out, Highway 1. And I looked out to the right of me. There was a zebra. And I was like, Jimmy, is there like a reserve there or something? He was like, no. And then we looked it up. It was a wild herd of zebras.
Yeah.
Mixed in with like some horses.
Yeah.
Just chilling together.
Apparently,
do you think horses and zebras get it on?
Isn't that what a zebra is?
Or did a horse and a tiger get it on?
What's a
liger?
No. What's a donkey?
That's
a horse and
a mule, right? And they don't like. Oh God, you're going down a wormhole. I can't. Anyways,
we saw wild zebra.
It was crazy
in California.
Moving on.
It's really weird.
That was fun. So we were doing that, and we didn't get to podcast. And then we're also been busy. We have this house we're renovating. It's full of mold, so we have to take out.
Mold is disgusting.
Black,
green, we got it all.
But we have to take out all the walls, so that's been a bit of some extra.
I've never even seen that happen on the TV shows.
Yeah, probably because they're like.
I've seen the asbestos.
Are you? Did you breach?
Did you cross the line, James? No.
Oh, sorry. James, put your headphones in. You can't hear this. Just kidding. James, our stepson, is doing a 24-hour challenge.
He's my real son.
He's my stepson. Where he stays in his room for 24 hours. It's a weird challenge. I thought it would be.
I think it's a YouTube thing.
It
Just
is.
stay in one room for 24 hours.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's a lot of like, hey, can you get me this? Hey, can you get me this? Like, here's my plate. I'm like, all right. But anyways, so we were working on that house. I don't know what else. That's it, right?
Yeah.
My intro that we did 15 minutes ago was great.
This one was great too.
Let's talk about what we're talking about.
All
More
right,
protein.
We're getting to
more protein.
Your intro. Yes, protein.
More protein over 65. So I'm going to run this one.
So it's about like age in particular?
Age in particular. Listen, I have it all laid out. I have notes. I wrote them out. I know this in and out. So Dr. Grieger has nutritionfacts.org. He is just wicked great with his he's a nutrition blog, and he tackles all kinds of stuff.
Is that the bald guy?
Yeah, some plant-based, some not. He's like a sciencey nerd physician that is plant-based that knows that's the best way to go. So he's just great. And he had an article on his website. You'll probably put it on the the info for this show.
Notes.
And it said do you need more protein over 65?
You think that's really
what
our target audience?
65? No, but just listen, it all makes sense in the end. There was a study from Science Correspondent was I think what it was published in, but the thesis on this was diets high in meat and dairy are 4 times more likely to die from cancer. People under 65 who have diets high in meat and dairy are 4 times more likely to die from cancer and diabetes.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Yeah. So Dr. Grieger steps in and he's like, oh, that's wrong. It's actually 73 times more likely to die from cancer and diabetes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then he said that, so moderate protein, so that's high intake of animal protein.
Okay.
Then moderate protein, that would be 10 to 19% of your calories from protein.
Yep.
It's 23 times the risk. So whatever Science Correspondent, Dr. Grieger came back and was like, that's so low. It's actually so much this. Do you know your recommended amount of protein per day is?
I know it's recommended if you're trying to build muscle mass.
What is it?
Well, it goes anywhere from 1 to 2 grams per weight.
1 to 2 grams per weight?
Yeah. So that's a lot.
That's a lot.
But when I was trying...
Where'd you get that from? Like
bodybuilder.com,
okay.
yeah, or Men's Health, things like that. This is if you're trying to increase muscle mass.
Okay,
which is not...
Well, I want to talk about that because I don't think that's actually accurate. I don't think more protein is going to give you more.
We have to be working too. But yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that these days.
I don't. I think you go back to the it's 80% what you eat and 20% what you do. Okay?
Yeah, for sure.
But
if you're eating all that protein and you're not doing tons of exercise, you're just taking on more calories.
So, RDA is the recommended dietary allowance. You'll hear me use that term, RDA.
Okay.
If this was my class, I would say that's one of our vocabulary terms. So make notes of it. Anyways, the RDA for a normal adult is 6 to 10% of your daily calories come from protein, and that evens out to an average by 15 grams of protein per day.
That's it.
Yeah, and that's not crazy people came up with that. That's like a conglomerate of the WHO, the USDA, all of those people came up with this and said, this is what I think you should get.
Much lower than I would have thought it.
Oh, for sure. It's actually 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight, which I have no idea.
0.8 grams? Per kilogram, not per pound.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought I heard our kids crying. Anyways, low.
Is that why you immediately grabbed your whiskey?
Anyways, low to moderate protein intake in middle years. Then moderate to high after 65 help decrease the risk of cancer and diabetes. So there was a study that said basically it was eating low amounts of protein in the middle years, anything under 65 is great for reducing your risk of diabetes or cancer. But after 65, it did not help as much.
Interesting.
So I'm kind of getting I'm kind of messing up my notes here, but a lot of people that would make money off of protein sources jumped to research if not eating, if the opposite is true, would eating more protein after 65 help them? You know what I'm saying? Is if low protein intake before you're 65 helps decrease diabetes and cancer risk, and then it showed no significant changes after 65, like the egg and the dairy and the beef council was like, oh, but maybe more would help decrease it. Kind of see what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
So
whatever to get more in the conversation.
So all of these studies happen. People over 65, there was a study that said people over 65 that were sedentary people, so didn't move a lot. They were either like on bed rest, or just didn't move a lot, lose 1.2% of their muscle mass over every year. If you're over 65 on average and you're sedentary, meaning that you don't work out, you don't move around, lose 1.2% of your muscle mass every single year for the rest of your life.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So you get smaller and you shrink.
Smaller and smaller. It's 6 times faster than young people. So there was a study that showed young people and then people over 65, and young people, or the old people, lost it 6 times faster than the young people. So old people basically, once you reach 65, there's just a lot of information that shows that you're going to lose your muscle mass a lot faster.
So you want to be increasing that?
Well, that's the whole question. Should you be increasing your protein? What is James doing? There's children sleeping.
I don't know.
Anyway, should you be increasing your muscle or your protein intake to help your muscle? Hold on. You got to pause it. We on?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think people think we're super professional because we have to stop to tell our 10-year-old to stop banging on the wall?
Yeah, I used to edit that out, but now I just leave it.
Anyways, there was a study, moving on to studies, that found, Japan's funny. So they were trying to see if there was a connection between age and muscle loss, what we were just talking about. And Japan found that there was no connection between muscle loss and age. But that's because they told the participants what they were studying and like why and how. They told them all the stuff.
Yeah.
And so in Japan, the men got very competitive, and so the men over 65 in particular would train so that like the next appointment they had, whatever, there's
probably more muscle mass.
Yeah, they like tried to compete with the other participants. So Japan's study didn't really pan out because it was a little biased. Anyways, it's hard to read this and keep.
Yeah. So, well, you got the old men.
I
guess you're getting to this point, but.
Oh, here. No, you're not even helping. Anyways,
Okay.
There's another study by the egg board.
The egg board, I'm sure.
And they did a study that wanted to see if increasing just specifically protein from egg sources, if that would help with muscle mass, right?
Yeah.
Can you get your damn picture?
Sorry.
God damn. That's why I've been flubbering over my words. Anyways, this egg board couldn't find any association between increased protein intake and the influence of muscle mass. Okay. So I've just been rattling off lots of studies, but all of any age, all of them basically are saying that they're trying to prove that increasing your protein will increase muscle mass post 65 years old. And no one can find a correlation between those two. Okay.
But is it proven that at my age, I can increase my muscle mass by increasing protein? But I mean, obviously you can build muscle without loading up on protein.
Well, there's like the thing is that 65 number, like in Japan, they found no correlation between the two. But that's because the plus 65-year-olds were like, well, let's get on it. Let's start working out. Let's, lift weights. Let's eat right or whatever. So it's just individuals being healthy or not being healthy.
And are you going to distinguish between proteins in this at all? Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't want to mess you up.
Okay. Multiple studies. Yes. So this is where I'm getting to, that over 65, muscle mass, you lose muscle mass for multiple reasons. One of those reasons is your kidneys start to break down. They're not working as well as they used to. And you're just getting older. I don't know. And the thought was eat more protein. Multiple studies funded by multiple people, the Dairy, Beef, and Egg Council, all tried to come up with ways of saying that if you eat more protein, you'll save that muscle mass. And they couldn't come up with it. So Dr. Grieger was like, what can you do after age 65 to keep your muscle mass? Eat your vegetables. Comes down to our constant thing. Why eating more vegetables? He said that you have a 48% lower odds of low muscle mass if you eat the recommended levels of veggies. Okay. So do you know what the recommended levels of veggies are? First of all, these podcasts that I run is just me talking.
Is there protein in vegetables?
Yeah, there's protein in vegetables. But I'm not even talking about protein levels. I'm just talking about eating vegetables.
Vegetables in general.
So
10 servings.
It's 2 to 3 cups of vegetables and 1.5 to 2 cups of fruit for the average adult.
Day?
Yeah.
So not 10.
10 servings. I think that's probably a bit much. 1 in 10 people in developed countries are getting the recommended daily allowance of vegetables or fruit.
Okay.
1 in 10.
I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Today's day and age.
Yes.
Not those long of living cultures, though.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You don't like my input at all.
I don't feel like your input's inputting.
Carry on.
Anyways, that's in our country, the lowest levels of people getting like the least amount of fruits and vegetables are in like West Virginia. Only 6% of the population in West Virginia gets the daily recommended levels of that. But in like Alaska, it's 12%.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Fruits, it was 7% in West Virginia. Again, they scored the lowest. And then 16% in DC for fruit.
Really? The highest?
Yeah. And it's not, out of the ordinary that people in poverty usually have the lowest levels. So, I think that'd be a fun podcast. We should talk about the healthiest states and the most unhealthy states.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. You remember when we talked about the food deserts?
Yeah.
Who was I listening to the other day? I was listening to somebody on the radio, and they were like, that's bullshit. Like,
food deserts?
Yeah, that there's this societal, I don't know, like
controls.
Yeah, like I guess his point was, I should remember who it was, but he was saying it's not our fault. He's like, if everyone in the hood, as we call it sometimes, is buying Kentucky Fried Chicken and going to McDonald's, and then the mom and pop grocery store has to shut down, and then the healthy food stores have to shut down, and all that's left is just garbage. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what people are eating. So
yeah, but I think it's
sometimes the blame is on some of these.
It's like the chicken or the egg. It was, but it's also kind of like.
But
this is the mom and pop grocery store. Did it close down, or was it never there?
No, it was there. I mean, it was everywhere back in the day. But I guess the bigger point there is that you have to educate people in these areas. Like, you can't just stick a Whole Foods in an impoverished area and people are going to start shopping there, or even a grocery store or a market. Mm-hmm. But if you educate people, I guess the cool thing they do on the west side is they just give it away for free.
They do.
People are going to go get free stuff no matter who you are or what level of income you have.
Our
so people
neighbor
line up for free veggies.
Our neighbor who was blind, he was on that program. He got free food, and he would give it to us.
Getting it. Like,
I was like, I don't want literally
he was getting it with
20 pounds of grapefruits.
Yeah. And it wasn't even the best.
No,
but when they set up like a stand and say, "Hey, we have all this free produce, come get it."
Yeah,
people do go get it. So I don't know where I was going with that, but vegetables.
Thank you for that.
More people need them, especially in impoverished areas. People.
So this Dr. Grieger says, if you eat more vegetables, if you get your recommended level, you will have a 48% lower odds of losing your muscle mass past 65. It's also in conjunction, though. If you are getting your recommended levels of aerobic exercise, and it lowers it by 38%.
Yeah.
So if you just eat vegetables, it's 48% lower. If you are working out, it's 38% lower. So you got to eat vegetables and you got to work out. So then I looked up what is the aerobic recommended daily diet, or whatever you're supposed to do. And for people 6 to 17, you are supposed to get 60 minutes of working out a day.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
I think a lot of kids
60.
would. I mean, especially younger. Just recess.
Like Bob just runs around, you know, so he gets it.
He gets it. James, like at recess,
he's running around.
It's probably all day going a mile a minute.
What about when he's 16 years old, though?
Yeah, when you get to high school, that's where this becomes an issue because
they're not running around unless they're in sports.
Yeah, well, they have to do gym class, but a lot of times that's
sitting down playing table tennis,
badminton or something.
Yeah.
Or just sitting. I mean, where we work, it's an atrocity. But when I was in high school, they made us do stuff.
Oh, for sure.
But even that was like 3 times a week for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, well, this is 60 minutes a day.
Yeah, I mean, I was getting it, but a lot of kids these days are not because they're on video games and stuff like that.
Because they're playing a physical thing on a TV screen. Yeah. You know, it's so bonkers to me. I hate video games. I think they're so stupid.
I like them in moderation.
In moderation. But I think that
they say they're good for your brain.
Okay, but
your brain's not going to keep you alive.
Yeah, because kids these days they seem so smart and so well rounded. But if you want to play video games in conjunction with playing with real people or going outside and seeing the sun, I have no problem with that. But I think that a lot of kids just do video games and they hole up in their room. Like,
and
that's
grown-ups that we know older
that
than
is
us.
not okay.
Yeah.
Go play outside.
We have a few friends that I would be willing to bet play 5 hours of video games a day that are in their 30s.
Well, that's
disgusting.
That's really cool. Bet they have really cool girlfriends. Anyways, adults. Do you want to guess how much you should be working out a day is for adults, or what the recommended thing is?
30 minutes a day. Get your heart rate over
a certain amount.
Yeah.
No, it's actually less than that. So it is 150 minutes, 2 times a week, which it's like 2.5 hours a week of working out, which equals 21 minutes a day. 2 of those days needs to be a muscle training, but 21 minutes a day, you need to raise your heart rate up.
Okay.
And that's it.
To be honest,
that's it.
I don't. I mean, there's days where I'll work for like 9 straight hours.
Well, you only had to do 2.5 a week.
But I don't think my heart rate's ever over 100 beats per minute. But then
you should be doing that.
I was reading, and next Saturday, this weekend I should do it, that if you do something like super physical, get your heart way up,
spike it?
Yeah, spike it just once a week.
Yeah.
That's typically when I was playing ice hockey consistently, once a week for an hour, my heart rate was, or I would run high. Like just on Saturdays or something.
And that's it. That's all.
Yeah, but right now, it doesn't get, I mean, I'm out there sweating and working my tail off on my feet all day, but I'm not.
That heart rate's not.
My heart rate's not pumping.
Maybe you should do that.
I should.
But I thought that was kind of reassuring that
but again,
all you need is 21 minutes.
I don't know if you have this percentage. It's probably less than 10% of Americans probably get that.
I think it's like 2% of Americans get that because they're all just playing video games.
Dr. Grieger's no
Fox.
No, he's certainly not buff. But we were talking about this. I'm thinking about how vegans sometimes appear to be
skinny and scrawny.
Yeah, like emaciated, but a lot of them just look super healthy. So yeah, I mean, when you lose fat, I guess you look more thin, I guess. I don't know. But you look at like...
You saying I look emaciated?
No, I'm saying like look at like your hunk Dr. Garth Davis.
He's kind of annoying lately.
He's a little intense on the internet.
He gives into it.
He does. He
needs to chill out. Be better than the trolls, Dr. Garth.
Trigger him pretty hard.
Oh my God. Why is he so pissed if someone has a fake Instagram account as him?
I think he's just kind of honored.
That would be like isn't the best form of flattery, doing
impersonation?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, he's a big dude.
He
works out a lot. I wonder if he increases his muscle intake. Or you see these these
protein.
bodybuilders. Like I follow a couple vegan weightlifting Instagrams with these monster dudes, and there's pictures of, they have T-shirts that are like, plant built and stuff like that. Are those guys pumping themselves full of protein to get that big?
That's not what I'm talking. I don't know. I don't have an answer to that.
I mean, I think you can get big without
pumping
yourself full of protein.
All right. Well, anyways, you want to know why vegetables do this? Why they lower it by 48%?
Lower what? Your death?
Lower muscle loss
by
by 48%?
65 years old, yes.
And this is real sciencey. But vegetables have an alkalizing effect.
Oh, here we go again with that.
That may neutralize the mild metabolic acidosis that acidosis causes muscle loss.
So the acid eats away your muscles?
Basically, the vegetables have a way of neutralizing acid, and acid takes away your muscles. So vegetables stop that process.
That makes a lot of sense.
Alkalizing effects. So we talk about this a lot. I think there's like a way more to this than we've dove into, but I think we should do another podcast about acid and alkalizing.
It seems to come up a lot.
It does.
With
Acid.
disease and things like that.
So first of all, acidosis is having too much acid in your body. And there's a lot of side effects of acidosis, but one of them is muscle loss, is that acid eats away at your muscle. So over 65, you might have more acidosis. And I talked about this before, but that's because your kidneys, the kidney function starts to decline. It's called renal function. Your kidneys aren't working as well as they used to. And you might be over consuming acidic foods. So we talked about this before, but what are acidic foods? What are alkaline foods? So the most acidic foods to the least, well, these are all very acidic foods, but I'm going to say
acidic is not good.
Acidic is bad. I'm going to say the most acidic food to the least acidic food, but it's still more acidic than you want. Okay, so
Got it.
Fish is apparently very acidic.
Oh, really?
Why I didn't think that, because I thought fish was like a good. I don't know. That's what you always hear. That like,
the
I still eat
mercury and
fish.
stuff?
It's good for you. I think fish has a lot of good stuff in it. I think it also still has bad stuff in it. I don't know. Pros and cons. Apparently, in the acidic world, it's one of the worst. So fish is very acidic. Then it goes pork. Heard that. Bacon. Oh yeah, super acidic.
Oh, yeah.
Poultry, then cheese, then beef and eggs.
So
I thought it was kind of weird.
All things we don't eat.
Yeah, but for sure, plant-based vegans don't
Not
eat
orange juice. I thought it was going to be on the list.
No, not at all.
Grapefruit juice.
No, actually, that's the opposite. So, but I thought that was kind of surprising that beef was lower on the list. I thought beef was going to be real acidic. But apparently, fish and pork and poultry more acidic than beef.
That's
but
weird.
beef is still acidic. I guess that's what I was trying to get across.
Yes, for sure.
So
got you.
Those are
and eggs.
Those are very acidic foods. And if I wasn't a plant,
Is acidic and high alkaline the same thing?
No, alkaline's the opposite.
Of acidic?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like acid and bases.
Got it.
Okay. So alkaline foods. These are foods that are opposite of that.
So this is good?
These are alkalizing effects. So these will do the opposite of acid. Bread, rice, pasta, beans, fruit, and veggies. So bread, rice, and pasta, they're kind of the middle of it. Like they're alkaline, but they're not working wonders on the other scale.
Yeah.
Whereas you get to beans, fruit, and veggies. Veggies are just like super acidic or alkaline and super great to counter effect those acids.
Yeah.
Okay. So the idea that these veggies, let me flip my notes. Hope you guys hear that.
Your notes are so big.
They are. More alkaline diet positively associated with the loss of muscle loss. You're not going to lose your muscle loss. Okay.
Got it.
Does that make sense? So more veggies you eat, the more those veggies will counteract the effects of acidic foods. So eating more protein over 65 does not help with muscle loss. It actually would do the opposite. Eating more veggies post 65 makes your muscles stay.
Got it. That makes sense.
Yeah. Low protein intake is associated with a major reduction in I didn't look this up. 16F1, IGF-1. I don't even know what I wrote down, but I think that's some sort of protein that causes a lot of bad diseases in your body.
Okay.
So, anyways, but that cancer and overall mortality in 65, but not overall population. So basically, the whole thing says that eating protein for young people is fine. Over 65, if it doesn't matter or not. The best diet ever, plants.
Yeah, and you're still going to get protein. You still need a certain amount of protein in your diet.
You do. But there's no eating this much more protein helps with muscle loss.
Yeah, and there's no such thing as a protein deficiency unless you're literally starving. But here's so the difference between proteins.
Now it's discussion times.
So I don't know if any of these studies looked at plant protein versus animal protein, but they're very different. Almost like what we were talking about earlier.
They're alkaline and acidic. Yeah, that all those meat proteins are acid, and they're going to literally deteriorate your muscles because your body's so acidic.
Yeah.
Whereas plant protein has no effect on that.
Do you remember that rat study from the China study?
They turned on the cancer and off the cancer?
Yeah, they turned cancer on and off with
meat protein, and cancer was turned off with plant protein.
Exactly. And then the plant protein, it didn't matter how much you provided. But with animal protein, if they gave them a 20% protein diet, the cancer, was okay.
Aggressively grew with the amount of protein.
But there was an amount of animal protein they were using whey that was okay, and it was very low. I think it was
6 to 10% of your body weight, because that's the recommended.
Well, they were rats, but with animal protein there was no difference from nothing.
You mean
to as much as they
protein,
gave them? Yeah, sorry, plant protein did not change it. So they're very different proteins, and I don't know. I don't understand the muscle mass thing, and I'm not a bodybuilder or anything. But when I work
how do we build our muscle?
You have this. You tear it and it rebuilds a little bit bigger, right?
I don't think I need more muscle. I like my muscle.
You don't need any more muscle. There's sometimes where I feel like, when I start working out, there's this mindset that I got to get more protein, and people drink their protein shakes and their pre and their post.
Like as in fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm perfectly happy with it, but I've never wanted to be bigger. But say you're trying to get larger for whatever reason, you're a football player or you're some kind of, fighting athlete or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know.
We should have interviewed that football player, but then he canceled on us because he got an NFL contract and was like, I don't have time to talk on a vegan podcast.
And then he stopped being vegan, I think.
What a dude.
It was Jones, one of the Joneses.
Oh.
Cardale. Well, you got John Jones, the fighter, and it was his brother.
Okay.
So they all went to my high school. But I think he stopped being vegan. He was not the guy that was on the Patriots. He ended up on the Redskins. But whatever. We'll get a vegan athlete.
That would be interesting to talk about. Yeah, I want to see a vegan muscle bodybuilder. Well, that's funny. Yeah. The biking guy. In August, we're supposed to interview this guy who's biking across the country. I don't know where he started from, but he's coming through Columbus, and we're going to interview him.
To this show.
He's probably like, you guys should probably know a little bit more about me.
We will when he gets here. But it's funny that he posted a picture of himself in Malibu when we were in Malibu.
Is he ripped? Oh, he did.
Yeah. But
what's his muscle mass? Describe him to me.
We'll ask him.
I'm just kidding.
What was that just reminded me of? DJ. We have to get him
ripped
on here. Yeah. So we have a friend who does jiu-jitsu, and he's here local in Columbus. And
Huge
if you're
vegan.
in Columbus Veg
Community.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
DJ. He's an ice sculptor.
He's got a sick mullet.
He has a great mullet like Bob's. We've kind of designed Bob's after his. But he is ripped.
Yeah.
It's funny.
So is his girlfriend.
At ComFest, yeah.
They're like the cutest, a little vegan couple, but
it's DJ and...
Why you put me on the spot like this?
I don't remember, yeah. No, I know.
Raven
and DJ, yeah. They had pictures of people at this festival we have here in Columbus at this booth, and they were like exploiting him. Like it was like a sign where you wrote something on it, like "I'm vegan because," and I don't remember what it was, but it was like something like because I want to be in better shape. But they had him just in like really tiny shorts and nothing else.
Really?
Like it's just ripped, and he's just like just showing off that like vegans can be very muscly, and so we'll get to that.
Let's go.
But at the end of the day, protein you don't need animal protein, especially.
Well,
and it does lead to more disease.
It does. One of the studies I didn't talk about that was talking about chronic diseases. Like 7 of the first 10 causes of death in the United States is from chronic diseases that are caused by
diet.
Like they're not going to say it's caused by diet, but are caused by diet. They're preventable chronic diseases that are caused by. Chronic means that it's like, you didn't get hit by a car. You've been dealing with this for a while.
Traffic accidents.
It's clearly like a lifestyle kind of impacted disease or whatever. But that's crazy. 7 to 10 of the top leading causes of death in our country are something you prevent. 7 of the top 10 is something you can prevent, and people just don't want to prevent it.
Yeah, because it's hard to think about it, but sometimes you start thinking about the fact that we're not here forever.
No.
And that's when I'm just thankful that
I'm like,
I have this information and I have this knowledge, and that I hope to get the most out of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And
1 in 10,000 people live to 100.
That's insane.
1 in 10,000.
That number has to be changing, though.
No.
1 in 10,000 people.
We're more unhealthy now.
Centenarians.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I think that's pretty accurate. I think there's more knowledge out there to be healthier, but I don't think the masses are listening.
No, and it's a sacrifice you have to make. You have to make serious changes in your life if you're
no
not
one's
healthy.
willing to work out for 20 minutes a day.
Clearly.
I'm just kidding, but honestly, like that's all I do. And I think more than that is you're doing too much.
Or more than that, it could be like it's a hobby, It's a good mental exercise for people to be able to express themselves.
You should do, but anyone can do 20 minutes a day.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyone
can do 20 minutes a day.
You should find 20 minutes in your day.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this and you're someone
do 20
who
minutes now
is heavier than you want to be, find that, because if you tell people you should be doing an hour a day, that's a little bit harder.
Yeah,
just to mentally prepare yourself for. But to do 20 minutes, like I was doing
attainable.
It before work, and it's like if I have to leave at 7. And, I need to start getting ready at 6:30. If I get up at 6, and it even takes me a little bit, and I get out here at 6:10, and I start that timer for 20 minutes.
It's not that bad.
It's 20 minutes, and that could change your life.
It's also just go for like a brisk walk, man.
Oh, for sure.
That's it. So
walk your damn dog.
Yeah, okay.
He's fat, too.
Our dog's not fat. I think that's it. This was my lesson.
Your protein lesson?
Did you learn anything?
I did. If you're over 65, your body is going to start eating itself. Mm-hmm. So give it veggies to eat instead.
Because
and beans.
It'll alkalize the acid.
No, that's good info. Mm-hmm. Most of our listeners are not 65, but
maybe they are. Well, they're gonna be 65.
Yeah. Well, that's a funny meme too. It's like I was raised my whole life being told to eat more fruits and vegetables, and now I go vegan and my parents are like, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
That's pretty funny.
You can't survive. Mm-hmm. But it's so true. Yeah. But yeah, it's the best life.
Yep, living that best life. All right, so next episode's gonna be either states healthiest and the non-healthiest.
Yeah.
What was my other?
If you live in a state that's healthy or unhealthy, if you have any opinions on your state,
write in and tell us why your state is healthy or unhealthy.
LisaBeacherMe@gmail.com. Oh, and
what?
I forgot. What is it? Podbean.
Yeah.
Is who hosts our podcast. You're probably listening to this on Podbean or iTunes. Starting this episode, we'll be back on Spotify. I think we're on iHeartRadio, Google Play, whatever. But Podbean is adding a feature.
Oh, yeah?
And it's free if we sign up for it. And I did, I think. We're going to do their trial period where it's free, where you can do a live episode.
Oh, fun.
And it also, people can call into it.
Fun.
And then, but it'll still be able to be recorded and put into your regular Rolodex of shows. So coming up in the next couple weeks, there will be a live Lisa Beach Your Meat. Obviously, we'll tell you about it before it happens. So we'd love some people to interact with us. So
that'd be great.
Looking forward to that.
I think we got someone right here that wants to interact.
Hi, Max.
Max, would you like to say anything? He's all the talk. He makes lots of noises. He wouldn't shut up in church this morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Holy Spirit.
Yeah, sorry. Well, thanks for listening. Remember, like us, subscribe, blah, blah, blah.
Give us some star ratings on iTunes. It's all we ask.
Yeah.
It's our charge.
And we'll be back soon with our next episode. So thanks for listening.
Good job, Lisa. I'm proud of you.
Okay.
Did a
You
good
can do
job.
the next one.
I
It's
will.
hard. It's hard reading notes and like interacting.
Your notes were gigantic, though.
They're literally on poster-sized paper.
Yeah. Good job.
Good night.
Bye-bye.